This fanfiction is a sequel to another, which is one of those watching the movie fanfictions. But what you need to know is this. There is a new character, an OC called Gida, who is a mage. She has two dragon children, one called Shadowfire and one called Frostfire. Frostfire has a mate called Palewing, and all four of them are from the future and have watched everything in the franchise of How to Train Your Dragon up until the second movie, including the Riders of Berg series, just so that you are aware. Anyway, here we go. Two Worlds, One Family by Dragon Translator. Chapter 1. Not How I Saw the Day Going. Much can change in a day, a week, a month. Hiccup could attest to that in full. A month ago, he had been disowned by his father. A month ago, he had watched as his father had Vikings strap his best friend, Toothless, to the deck of the tribe's flagship. A month ago, he had watched as almost everyone he had ever known headed to what he knew was annihilation. A month ago, he had flown off with teens who once ignored his very existence to rescue a tribe that he no longer belonged to. A month ago, he had helped destroy a tyrant from the worst nightmare imaginable. A month ago, he had fallen off his dragon and into an inferno. A week ago, he had awoken from an induced sleep to recover from wounds sustained in the battle. A week ago, he had seen the same teens who flew with him walking their dragons through the village, with no one immediately reaching for weapons. A week ago, his father had spoken to him with none of the usual disgust once lined the chief's voice. A week ago, Gobba had handed him a new tail fin for Toothless and welcomed Hiccup home. A week ago, Vikings and dragons lived and worked in harmony. A week ago, no one yelled or screamed when a wild dragon visited the island. A day ago, his father had listened to him. A day ago, his father had been quick to openly praise him on things he did. A day ago, mildew had no real way to rile up the village. A day ago, Hiccup had no worry his father would run every dragon off of Berg. Now, Hiccup had no idea what to do. The wild dragons had been using the village as a place to relieve themselves. Unguarded food was flinched without remorse and devoured in front of the Viking it was taken from. His father, stressed with Mildew's constant complaining, had ordered Hiccup to deal with the dragons, or he would. Hiccup was clueless. He did not know why the wild dragons were acting the way they were, and had no means to actually stop them. He mainly ordered the teens with dragons to join him on patrols, in hope they could prevent some of the chaos. Astrid and Fishlegs responded with clarity. Snotlout and the twins had been threatened by Astrid to come. None of this seemed to work, as his father still did not appear happy or pleased. Hiccup sighed. He should have known nothing would truly change when it came to his father or his tribe. Hiccup went to step down, intending to meet the others in the plaza for another patrol, only to stop as a bright white light burst across the sky. When it faded, Hiccup could see once more. His jaw dropped. A massive black and silver dragon hovered over the plaza. A hooded figure sat upon the dragon's back. Hiccup rushed down the steps as fast as he dared. He stopped beside Astrid. Toothless came to his right side, while Stormfly moved to stand by Astrid's left. His father arrived as the other dragon riders and their respective dragons hurried into the plaza. The new dragon and its rider landed. Hiccup blinked. Two terror-sized dragons peeked over the rider's shoulders. Both were blue, but the one Hiccup could see the most had a pale blue wing. The figure drew back its hood, revealing a young woman with brown hair. "Who are you?" Stoic asked, his voice stern and unyielding. The woman chuckled. Always with the demands, she muttered, causing her dragons to laugh. She tilted her head. I apologize. This will hurt. Before anyone could comment or react, she snapped her fingers. Hiccup jerked and cried out as his head began to pound. Memories he did not know he had rushed by. A cavern. A see-through barrier separating him from his tribe. Images on Dewell's stone walls. The woman and her dragons. Eating with Astrid sitting beside him. The headache began to recede as the memories reached their conclusion. Hiccup looked up at the rider. Gyda? Aye, Hiccup. What are you doing here? Hiccup questioned. Are you here to whisk us away again? Stoic asked at the same time. Gyda swung her leg over Shadowfire's neck. He lowered until his belly almost touched the ground, and shifted a foreleg forward so Gyda could use it as a step down. Frostfire and Palewing stretched their wings and hopped off Shadowfire's back. Shadowfire stood and shook himself, bags tied to his saddle jingling. No, Chief, Gyda said. You all saw the message you were to receive. I am here for another reason. What is that? Stoic asked. Gyda sighed and looked down before facing Stoic. Our home and land were taken from us by a man from a noble house. He has always wanted my family's land, and worked to get the lawmakers to declare it his. Because I aided your gods, I was allowed to come here and escape him. Escape? Stoic asked, his eyes narrowed. The land wasn't the only thing he wanted, Gyda said. He wanted my sons and daughter-in-law. Is Burke in danger from him? Stoic asked. No. The way is sealed shut by a power he cannot have the law order about. I see. Well, if you wish to live here, you must remember I am the chief. I knew that back home, sir. I just didn't hold a lot of respect for you then. I despised how you treated your son. Stoic sighed. You were right to not respect me, boss, he said before looking at Hiccup. I don't respect myself for any of that. It won't happen again. Hiccup blinked. The past few days, his father had been stressed and demanding. To hear him speak so openly about something he had done wrong surprised Hiccup. It also took a weight off Hiccup's shoulders to hear his father would not treat him as he had before. Though part of him wondered if it was because of the memories from Gyda's home, or because Stoic actually cared to treat his son better. Hiccup squashed that voice. His father was trying. It was not Stoic's fault that the wild dragons were causing issues again. Toothless warbled something that caused Shadowfire's horns to flare, and Frostfire and Palewing to chitter. Hiccup frowned as Frostfire scurried up Gyda's back and peeked over her left shoulder. Did the magic not work? He asked, and Hiccup gasped, hearing the others in the plaza do so as well. Well, I guess that answers that. Lag, Shadowfire said, earning a snort from Frostfire. Goofball, Frostfire muttered. Short legs, Shadowfire returned. Be nice, boys, Gyda said. Yes, Mum, Shadowfire and Frostfire said at the same time, causing Palewing to snicker softly. Wait, Hiccup said. How? We're not in your cave anymore. It's the common tongue, Gyda said. Once, long ago, humans and dragons conversed freely. No one knows why, but the connection was severed. But magic allows humans to understand it once more. My cave was home to mages for years. Magic weeps from the walls. While you all visited, you were exposed to that magic. That is how you were able to hear the dragons. Now that your memories are no longer blocked, you retain the ability. But your magic didn't always work, Hiccup said. Several times the dragons spoke, but I never understood them. We spoke in the old tongue of all dragons, brother, Toothless said. Humans would never have the means to understand that language. Why would he do that? Fishlegs asked. Toothless tilted his head. The old tongue is faster. Oh, okay, Fishlegs said before looking at Gyda. Why is it called the common tongue? Because trade language got too cumbersome to say, Gita replied, winking. Hiccup snorted. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Astrid's lips thin. He looked over, only to have her turn away towards Stormfly. Hiccup frowned, but he did not push the issue. She would not appreciate it. He would ask her when they were on their daily walks through the village later that evening. "Where you be staying, lass?" Stoic asked. Gita shrugged. "You could point us towards the closest cave if you want, Chief." "No!" Everyone turned as Gita and Brynja walked through the crowd to the plaza. Side note, those are Astrid's parents. Edith placed a hand on the shoulder Frostfire was not peeking over. She then stared at Stoic. "Gita and her family can stay with us until a house can be built for them. We owe her that, Chief." "Where'd you want a house, lass?" Stoic asked. Gita turned to her family. Frostfire hopped down, landing beside Palewing. "Mum?" Shadowfire began. "I know why we lived in the caves back home. But can we do something different here?" "I agree with Shadowfire, Mum," Frostfire said. "I would wish for a house, Mummy Gita," Palewing said. Gita nodded and turned to Stoic. "I'd like a house, sir." Stoic tipped his head. "I'll speak with the woodcutters and the builders then," Stoic said, stared at her and frowned. "I know you know the future, lass, but we'll walk the path the gods wish." Gita nodded. "I understand, sir." "Good," Stoic said before walking away. "Would you like to join us on patrol?" Hiccup asked as the crowd began to disperse. "I need to get my things off of Shadowfire first," Gita said, gesturing to the saddlebags. "Astrid," Edith said, "come and help us get Gita and her family settled, and you can help her find the patrols afterwards." "Yes, ma'am." "Riders," Hiccup called, "let's go. Astrid and Gita will catch up with us later." The other teens mounted their dragons and took off. Hiccup could not help but look back. He and Astrid had grown closer since he awoke, and she kissed him in front of the entire tribe. They talked often, though, lately, their conversation had been discussing ways of dealing with the wild dragons. Not having her at his left as they flew off Berg felt weird. Toothless grunted and shook himself slightly. Hiccup knew what his dragon brother was saying, even without the common tongue. "You're right, bud. Duties first." End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. So the introduction to this story is a little complicated, but it's one of my favourite fanfics ever. I've wanted to do this one for ages, and the chapters are quite short. I'm really busy the last couple of days, and I've had a terrible cold, so I can't record much, and I don't know if I'll be able to record when I'm away on this trip. It's going to take over 2 weeks. So I'm trying to bulk record now. I hope you guys appreciate it. I know how complicated my uploading schedule has been recently, and I'm very sorry. But what can you do? Life gets in the way, and I've wanted to do this one for a while anyway, so I wanted to give you guys something. Anyway, yes, this is nice. And Gita basically becomes an older sister / advisory figure to Hiccup. She is not going to be a instrument of contention between Astrid and Hiccup. Okay, just wanted to make that clear. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye, my guys, gals, and albino pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.